I was shooting a documentary project a couple weeks ago and things got a little Western. They got out of hand and there was an assault and there were firearms presented and there was a police presence summoned. The next day, after the dust had settled and we were sort of powwowing about the whole thing and I was having a conversation with the guy I'd been filming, the subject of the documentary project, and he goes, "Hey, was that like the craziest thing you've ever filmed?" And I said, "No, dude. Wasn't even on the list." Hi there. Welcome back to Adventure in Art. My name is Ben Staley. I am your resident talking head. Today we're going to talk about documentary portraits. Let's define that. What's a documentary portrait? Well, that's what I call a portrait I took on the street when I met someone in a foreign country, right? We don't speak the same language. I'm passing through. I don't want to take any more of their time than I need to. I've got maybe 5 or 10 seconds. We have an interaction. They've got a cool face. They've got a cool personality. I want to capture a good portrait of that person so I can remember this place and this time and this interaction that we had. I'm going to take you on 2 different trips with me that happened several years ago before I was on YouTube. Didn't intend for any of this footage to ever end up on YouTube, but I think there are some good lessons here. I think we can learn a few things, and I'm kind of excited to show you some of these portraits that I captured on the street. Boom, quick, 5-10 seconds each. And also, there's going to be a couple lengthy encounters that are really, really memorable to me, and I think you're going to dig it. It gets a little weird. So stick around. At the end, we're going to talk strategy, we're going to talk tips, and we're going to talk how you can actually achieve documentary style, on the street travel portraits of interesting people you meet in your journeys. Let's do this. Okay, this is a vacation trip a few years ago.
He's about ready to jump.
Danny and I try and take a lengthy trip at least, once every 18 months or a year, as often as we can. We went to Thailand for several months and we just boogied all over the country, up and down, saw as much of it as we possibly could in about 3 weeks. Thailand's pretty full on. I hope I get to go back someday. It's an amazing country, great people, great food, ancient culture. And there's a portrait of our tuk-tuk driver. You just saw shots of him driving us around. We hired him for a couple hours to see the sights. Here's a little temple. I know that's not a portrait. It's a little temple that was totally covered in vines. It was awesome. There's a portrait of a statue. And here's a dude that was sitting outside taking donations. I took a portrait of him. And now this guy was walking by and he saw me raise my camera and he smiled. The people in Thailand are so friendly. I've been on several pretty lengthy trips to Europe and you just can't get street portraits the same way in Europe, at least the countries I've been to. But in Thailand, everyone is so friendly. You raise your camera and they'll smile for you. This is Tsuwat. He was the guy that was rowing our little raft there up the River Kwai. But this is kind of what we do. We travel around. Oh, there we're on a moped. It's planes, trains, and automobiles, man. Boats, cars, whatever. There's a dude waiting at a bus stop. Took his picture because he seemed friendly. This is a guy in a market. Friendly people. There's another guy in a market. And again, all these people just really happy to pose for a portrait. The thing I love about Thailand is the street food. You can get some amazing food on the street. You can get like a couple cans of beer and a meal for like a couple dollars. It's amazing. Danny loving her salad. I took the lady's picture. And here's a gal in a market, super happy to pose for a photo. And we just travel around, man, in the back of a pickup truck, on boats. Stay a few places here and there, see the sights. Okay, this place is awesome. I wish I'd have shot video here. This guy had this little shack on the side of the road and he had turned it into a bar. He called himself Mr. T and he was obsessed with American rock and roll. So we sat there and had some beers. Of course I took his picture. That dude was awesome. Okay, New Year's Eve. We've heard that there was this massive cave about 6 or 8 miles from where we were staying. So of course we had to hike over there. Now you couldn't go in the cave alone. It was kind of set up for tourists, so you had to hire a tour guide to take you through this cave. So we did that. It was a couple-hour tour through this massive cave. Well, we had found out that there's also this phenomenon that happens at the back end of this cave where at dusk a bunch of bats fly out and birds fly in, and we wanted to see it. So I gave our tour guide a pretty healthy tip and she left us alone there. And we decided we would wait until dusk and see these bats and see these birds. So we're just hanging out kind of in the jungle near the mouth of the cave, walking around, seeing the sights, waiting for it to get dark. And this monk comes walking up carrying a broom and he disappeared up this path. There's the path. Of course I had to follow. So up at the end of this path, there's another big cave and the mouth of it has a big concrete wall with a door. Of course I had to go in the door, and here's the monk. Right away he seems to want to take me somewhere.
Huh?
Now the dude didn't speak English at all.
You sure?
I'm like, all right, let's go.
Oh, you sleep in here?
Yeah. Huh?
Here, I have one.
I have no idea where that flashlight came from or why I had it so handy.
นี่มันเล็กมากเข้ามาได้หรือเปล่าเล็กมากเลยนะมาได้ไหม
Now, I wouldn't say I'm claustrophobic, but this is not very comfortable. And I'm a big guy. I outweigh this dude by at least 100 pounds.
I'm too big.
Amazing
Amazing.
โอ้โหโอ้ละล่า
Oh, I'm a too big of a guy. Ah, amazing.
Now, I didn't have an external microphone on my camera. I wasn't really prepared to film this, but he kept looking back at me and saying, amazing, amazing.
I don't know, buddy.
ได้ไหม
No, too big. I'm too big.
ตัวพี่กัน
Too big.
นี่
Oh, that's where you sleep?
Yes.
Every day.
โอ้รูม
Every day.
บิ๊กรูมบิ๊กอ่ะ
Wow.
ใหญ่มากนี่รูมบิ๊ก
Big.
yes
Comfortable?
sleep
You sleep every day?
yes
Wow. Why in there?
เอา
Why? You like?
เขาเรียกว่าอะไรอะ no เกินคำบรรยายอะ
Good company?
ใช่
Quiet.
เออ
Quiet.
บิ๊กอะรูมอะ
Big room?
เออ
Wow.
คือสวยมากพวกเนี้ยจะสวยมากเลยข้างในอะ
Very cool. That's neat. Thank you.
บิ๊ก
Now I try and get out of here.
นี่มาดูนี่ก็ได้
That's a very cool, man.
มานี่อย่างเงี้ยมานี่
Yes.
Now, I thought we were done. Really, I just wanted to take this dude's portrait because he was so cool looking, and he's got other things in mind. There's Danny down at the bottom of the hill. You can see her. And we're off on another little adventure. And now I thought my little time of belly crawling through a tight cave was over. This guy's got something else in mind.
Oh my goodness. Again.
big.
บิ๊กนี่โอ้ล่านี่มาดูนี่
Oh, big. Oh, wow. Cool. Big cave.
มีสเน็ก
Yeah?
snake
Snake?
Yeah.
Okay, a snake. This is getting better by the minute. Oh, wow.
แล้วก็ไปนู่น
Oh, it looks like a snake.
เออ
Yeah.
มันขึ้นไปข้างบนได้โกอะไรอ่ะ
Under? Up here? Go? Okay. I started wondering seriously if this dude was just effing with me. Oh, how'd you get down there? Are you going? Okay. Let me come down. This way? This way? Oh, slippery. Oh, I don't want to fall. There we go. Oh, snake hole. Snake. What is it? Yeah. Neato.
amazing
Amazing. That's right. Amazing. Up? Yeah, up. Okay.
come back
We'll come back. Oh, thank you. Amazing. And then I got my portrait. And these are some of my favorites of all time. Just because of the little journey this dude took me on. You know, I think about that guy often. What if he's still living in that cave? I wonder how many tourists he's drugged down into the furthest depths of his little domicile. I have to believe I wasn't the first one. I don't know why he chose to do that. Anyways, Danny and I stuck around. We saw the bats. We saw the birds. And then it was time to hike back to the parking lot where we thought, well, you know, it's a 6 or 8 mile walk back to the place we were staying. We'll just catch a ride with someone. Well, by the time we got back there in the dark with our headlamps, it was completely empty. There was no one there. So it's well after dark now, and we have a long walk. So we start walking down this small road through the jungle. You can hear monkeys, you can hear strange birds, you can hear things moving around. It's pretty creepy. All of a sudden we see headlights coming toward us down the road. And lo and behold, it's the owner of the hotel we were staying at and a couple other guests from England, I think. And they scooped us up. We're all crammed in the back of this little bitty car. And they took us to this New Year's Eve party. And let me just say it was a night to remember. What an adventure. A few years ago, I was hired to go on an exploratory mission into the far reaches of northeastern Siberia. I flew from Los Angeles to Moscow, and then from Moscow I flew another 6 hours east to Yakutsk, the capital of Siberia. This is way out there, man. It is out there. Here I rendezvoused with Slava, the guy on the left, who was to be my local fixer and guide. He could translate the local language. He knew the places we could stay and stops along the way, basically so that we wouldn't get lost, wouldn't get turned around. If you're traveling in a foreign country like this for work, you always have a fixer, and they just get you dialed in. They get you your food, get you your lodging, interface with the local populace. They're invaluable. Slava was a cool dude. Now the guy on the right is Peter, and we're going to travel in his van, and he would be driving. He's a local dude. That's what he does. He transports people around in his awesome little 4-wheel drive van. These things are cool. I kind of want one. We spent a couple days in Yakutsk getting prepared, and then we all climbed into the van and set out on the journey. So we would travel all day and I was capturing video along the way. I don't have any of that video. It was delivered to the production company that hired me, but I do have a few personal clips that I captured along the way, as well as some portraits of locals. I would basically get up at first light and hike around whatever village we were staying the night in, and I would meet people out on the street first thing in the morning. I don't think anyone I ever met spoke a lick of English, but everyone was generally pretty friendly. And I don't even think anyone denied me the chance to take their picture. Everybody was pretty open. These dudes had a little shish kebab type stand on the side of the road. They were selling street food. Great, great faces. This is hard country, man. Very, very poor. Very much decrepit, old buildings falling down. This part of Russia has gotten almost no money since the fall of the Soviet Union, and everything is old and crumbling. These are hard people. Look at that guy's teeth. He kept yelling, "America! America!" Awesome, awesome faces. These are some of my favorite travel portraits of all time. I wanted to photograph the dudes driving these trucks, but they were carrying AK-47s, and I think those trucks were loaded with explosives. So I stayed at arm's reach, man. I stayed way back. Every night we would pull into a little village and Slava would get on his cell phone and call someone. We would climb up some narrow staircase and go through someone's living room and sleep in like a back room. It was crazy. I'd get up in the morning, early, before everyone, and just walk the streets, and there was always people out. No one spoke any English, but everyone was very friendly and very happy to let me take their picture. Even this guy. I took two. Everyone is dressed, working class, practical for the cold, except this gal was dressed in full leather with stiletto heels. Nuts. We would store the van at night, usually in some kind of garage or some place where it would stay warm enough that the oil wouldn't freeze. This is Siberia, man. It's frickin' cold. And this was springtime, but it was still, sub-zero during the day easily. Very, very cold. And there's me and Peter.
Hasta la vista, baby,
I told this dude his glasses made him look like the Terminator. These guys were ice fishing on the side of the road. I just love these faces. That guy was missing a thumb. Look at his right hand there. And that's me and him. Pretty stark, barren country when you get out in it, but we passed reindeer herders. This guy was living in a tent and ice fishing. I think he gave Peter, our driver, some fish. I don't know what they're saying to each other. These are the Yakutian people. They're the native people of Siberia. They're not Russian. They're Yakutian. And they're basically the same people that thousands of years ago crossed over the Bering Land Bridge and migrated into North America and down into South America. This dude was just living by himself out there on the land. Tough, hard people. Peter, our driver, was such a character. Didn't speak a word of English, but he was not shy. Every time he saw a critter, he would hop out with this ancient shotgun and blast away at it. And pretty soon he started convincing me that I needed to play the game too. This shotgun must have been around like when Stalin was in power. Oh, shit! I was mostly just afraid it was going to blow up in my face. I think Peter thinks he's helping me there. I don't know. I never could hit anything with it, but Peter did. He was so proud that he'd killed that big bird. He cooked it up, though, and fed us dinner. I decided I'd stick to my own shooting. Peter and Slava acquired some red fish eggs, and they were so excited for us to try them. This is a delicacy to them. So of course I had to have some for dinner, washed down with vodka. They were pretty disgusting if you ask me. But yes, I had seconds. They were stoked that we got to try their local native red fish eggs. Sometimes we ate in the van or slept in the van if we didn't make it all the way to a village in time. There's Slava cleaning ice off the headlights.
Дай водки выпить. Vodka?
Are we in trouble here? These guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah, just.
Здорово!
I don't know what they're saying.
Меня Слава, его Бен.
Бен. А я мы из Новый Русский.
Новый русский? Okay.
New Russian. That means новый русский means New Russian.
New Russian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Move.
Sit down, please.
Oh, yeah. Slava, are you having vodka too?
Yeah, I'll have.
Okay, good.
Вот, смотри. Так мы...
У тебя нету девушки с собой?
Нет.
Do you have a goal with you? Do you have a goal with you?
A goal?
A girl.
Girl? No.
No!
Now these guys are asking if we have girls with us. I tell them no, but that's in fact a lie. We have 2 girls with us, 2 females. Peter's wife is traveling with us, and my producer is a woman, very talented, very capable woman, and they're both waiting in the van while we are sitting in the front of this truck with these drunk Russians. There is no way in hell I'm going to let them know that we have 2 females with us.
Выпиваем и едем.
He says, drink some vodka,
Вот,
have some
чуть-чуть.
ravioli, and then
Then we'll go.
yeah.
В условиях очень... Ну, салам пополам.
Get us out of here. Now we're way out there. We're about 1,000 miles into our journey. There's no cell service. No one's coming for us if we get hurt. We are on our own. And I had alarm bells going off that this wasn't the safest situation, being crammed into the front of this truck with these 2 drunk Russians. I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to be an asshole American, but I wanted to get out of there and I wanted to get back on our journey. And I kept trying to urge Slava, and you can hear me in the video. You can hear me in low voices saying, Slava, let's get out of here. And I think you're going to pick up on the fact that I wanted out of this situation. I didn't want to antagonize these guys. I didn't want to set them off. There was just this undercurrent of aggression and violence that maybe you'll pick up on it, maybe you won't. I was sensing it, and it made me very nervous. And I'm not the kind of guy that gets nervous easily, but it was a feeling, and it was tangible, and I wanted out of the situation.
Сусуман приехала, я золото копала. У меня жена... Только это, слышу?
Yeah, picture. I want a picture.
Тихо, тихо, не спеша, Чечен давит Ингушанах.
Slowly, slowly, no hurry, Chechen crushes the English.
Здоровый, блин.
You're big.
No, he's strong. I'm telling you, he's strong.
Он, ты говоришь, сильный, говорит.
Да ну нахуй, скажи.
Fuck off. He said.
И казаться дураком, чем говорить и быть им.
He says it's better to shut up and look like a stupid rather than
Open your
being
mouth.
stupid and saying about it. Do you want beer from Magaran?
Давай, и за уважение
Yeah.
к тебе я по чести,
По чести, блядь. Ага, блядь.
И вот пишешь.
Да ему похуй.
Не, вот
сейчас
пишешь.
выкатит, нахуй.
Is it good?
That's good.
Ебашь, ёпта, блядь.
Вот.
С собой у щуки, нахуй.
That's good.
My name is Victor.
Victor, I'm
У
Ben.
меня такой же друг служил, как
Name is
ты.
Victor.
Короче, блядь, мы вместе служили. Представляешь, они
go.
ко мне ехали.
Yeah.
Водка, пиво. Вот.
Beer was
What
good.
do you want? Vodka or beer?
The beer was good. Tell him beer was good. We're good. Yeah, we're okay.
Вот. Да все нормально, говорит.
Водки,
Should I
короче.
have some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ну, сидим
My new friends.
в палатке.
За, говорит, за
мои
новых друзей,
друзья.
за новых друзей, говорит.
Давай.
Кто
Как
понимает?
имя? Как твое имя? Подожди. What is your name?
That's good.
What is your
Good.
name?
Ben.
Ванька Петров говорит. Нет. What is your name? Не, он говорит
Бен.
Ваня Петров.
Бен.
Ben.
Бен. Виктор.
Victor.
Бен. Александр.
That's the 8th time we've met.
I am is Alexander.
Ben.
Кто?
Бен, Бен.
My name is
Дэн
Виктор.
или Бен, нахуй?
Бен,
Yeah,
Бен.
good to meet you.
Заебись, что не этот, нахуй, блядь. Этот, скажи, блядь, Робокоп.
You RoboCop is awesome. We love RoboCop. Yes, give the man a hand.
Смотри, Робокоп бруснику собирается.
It says the Robocop is up in the hills.
Tell him thank you for vodka and
Что еще,
double.
пацаны?
Oh,
Не,
I give you more.
на Чукотку не хочешь прокатиться?
He's offering you to go to Chukotka with him on the truck.
I can't.
Я тебе шкуру обую, блядь, полярная волка.
He will give you skin clothing.
Скажи,
Пусть не пиздит, скажи, денег у него нету просто.
почему у тебя
Why you have beard? Beard. Why beard?
Go tell him I'm from Alaska and we have to have beards there. I don't see many beards.
Пищу русскую порол.
Oh
Ебать, жопа такая, блядь.
yeah. What is he saying?
He's asked you, did you have ever slept with a Russian woman?
No.
He can offer you a girl, Russian
Честно,
woman.
беременна.
Really?
Подожди.
Oh, I got one.
Russian пельмени.
А, это мамка делала, мамка.
Это его дело.
I'm good.
Мамка делала.
I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm
Брат,
full.
давай.
Че, наелся, что ли?
Брат, давай, бахни.
Давай.
Не, бери.
Пацаны,
Знаешь Галаева, нет?
давай бороться.
Копцевай? Копцевай? Встретились
Yeah, wash it down.
в тайге. Когда-то
It's good vodka.
Мы хорошо, что встретились в тайге.
Вот из-за
Как
этого,
звать тебя?
Слава.
Клавентий. Лишнего,
Ой,
лишнего
ебучий,
сюда
да?
не пускай. Переверни ее по-другому.
What's he saying?
He wants a picture
Okay.
wearing his hat.
Okay, you ready?
Алана!
Ащи да, блядь. Салам пополам.
Tell him thank you for the vodka and the dumplings.
Very much. My
Yeah. Be safe.
Бля, сильный. Скажи ему.
Be safe.
Подожди, да, просто не который.
He said if you were the local, he would crush you.
Америка, goodbye.
America.
my friend, good luck. Лишь бы вы там не задержались.
Those Russians.
Finally, we reached the end of our journey, exhausted. Now, Peter and his wife were going to turn around and drive 1,500 miles back to Yakutsk. Slava and my producer and myself were going to fly back on a commercial airline that would come out here like once a week. Now, at the beginning of the journey, we had fronted Peter some money so he could get supplies for the trip, right? Fuel, food, that kind of thing. It was a couple thousand American dollars. Now, in the meantime, he was to get a wire transfer from the United States that would cover all of his expenses and be his fee for the journey, and then he would refund us the cash that we had paid him initially to get started. Here is the last picture I took of Slava and Peter. This is about 5 minutes before we are to leave to the airport to fly home. And I asked Peter if he had that cash that he was to pay us back. And he just shrugged and said he didn't have it anymore. You know, I guess we were angry, but more than that, we were hurt, right? We thought we had become friends with Peter. We'd been traveling with him for, I don't know, it was 5-6 days and having a lot of laughs. We treated him very good, paid for a lot of his expenses that wasn't in our initial agreement to do so. and now he was basically just shrugging it off and going to steal or keep a couple thousand extra dollars. Now, it wasn't my money, but it's the principle of the matter, right? I guess things got a little heated, voices were raised, and we let him know what we thought of this. Peter leaves the room, he comes back 5 minutes later, puts down all the money, and then leaves, and I never spoke to him again. I got word a couple years ago that Peter had been killed in a hunting accident. I don't know any details other than that. I'm not angry at Peter for what he did. He did pay us back. I only really think fondly of him. He had a great sense of humor. He liked to joke, even though we didn't speak the same language. You could tell he had a good sense of humor. We had a lot of laughs. I went on this crazy journey with him. I'm sad he's not still around. So you want to travel and you want to capture documentary portraits. Here's the first thing that I do, okay? I present myself in a certain way, okay? Now, you don't see me wearing bright, expensive, flashy Gore-Tex clothing. I wear very understated clothing. I wear work clothes, I wear flannel, I wear muted colors. I'm not wearing expensive looking brand names, okay? That's the first thing I do, so that I'm gonna blend in and I'm gonna look as understated as possible. Now, I own all those kind of clothes because I have to travel a lot and I have to work in extreme environments. But when I'm in a place like this, interacting with the local populace, or even on vacation, I'm not going around with expensive looking fancy clothes. I'm not going around with an expensive backpack. I don't have a huge expensive camera hanging off of my neck. That's why I like a small camera. Now, of course, I look differently. It's very easy to tell I'm a foreigner. It's very easy to tell I'm from somewhere else. But I want to get on the same level as them as much as possible. By design, I want as little separation between us as possible. I don't want them to look at me and see some kind of expensive fancy Gore-Tex jacket or an expensive camera. I want to blend in as much as possible. I don't want that barrier there. I don't want that separation. Now, I can tell you, with only the exception of a couple shots, every portrait in this video was captured in the space of 5 or 10 seconds. It's a very quick interaction. Here's how it works. I see someone, wow, they've got a great face. Wow, I want to capture that person's portrait. Maybe they're walking towards me. Maybe they're standing in a good spot. Okay? What I do is, here's my camera, I approach them. I look them right in the eye. Eye contact. I smile. Hi. And I say hi. I say something. I just smile. I wave at them. I raise my camera. I point, and then I point at them. Hey. If I get a nod, I take their picture. Most of the time I get a nod. That's it. Now, technically, how you capture in the portrait, well, you should know that, right? I'm using a longer lens. I'm using a open aperture, probably a f1.4, 1.8, something like that, so I get all that bokeh in the background. That's the easy stuff, right? The technical stuff is easy. But what you want to do, if you don't speak someone's language, first of all, make a connection with them. Look them in the eye. Smile. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous. Point to your camera. Point to them. Boom. Make this. It's a universal sign. They will nod if they want you to take their picture. If they don't, if they kind of recoil, then don't. Put the picture down. Give them a big smile. Give them a big wave. Say, have a nice day. Something like that. Let them pass. Don't be an asshole. Don't take their picture if they don't want their picture taken. Look, we all come from different backgrounds, right? We're all facing different challenges in our lives. I'm guessing if you're watching this YouTube video, life could be a lot worse for you. Maybe it's hard. Maybe it's tough. It could be a lot worse if you've got a computer to watch this video on or a smartphone. I'm just making that assumption. I could be wrong. Life is pretty darn tough out there for a lot of people. If you're selling dinner for $1, I'm guessing you're not living in a McMansion, right? If you're living in one of these villages way out in northeastern Siberia somewhere, man, life is tough. You are struggling just to get through every day. People judge you, right? They judge you on the clothes you wear. They judge you on the car you drive. They judge you on the color of your skin. All that is f***ed up, right? Those aren't the things that matter. Those are not the things that should determine our value, right? I feel like when you travel and when you meet people, you have the opportunity to face them without judgment and to meet them and interact with them just as fellow people, just as fellow travelers, right? Despite their race, their skin color, their clothes, what they're driving, what they do for a living. F*** all that. None of that stuff matters. You have the opportunity to look someone in the eye and have a real moment of connection with them, right? You have an opportunity in that moment to create a new world where the judgment doesn't matter. Watch how people respond when you just look them in the eye, you smile, you greet them with compassion, with empathy, with understanding, with zero judgment. I have to believe that if you can have pure interactions with people in that manner, that it'll have a ripple effect, right? And you create your own little universe and it ripples out, it ripples out, it ripples out. You're going to make that person's day a little better. You're going to make your own day a little better. Somewhere inside of you, your heart's going to sing. Think about it. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I appreciate all of you who've come to this channel and stuck with it and watched all these little videos that I'm making. I love the comments. It's really exciting to see some of the same people week after week showing up in the comments, and it means a lot to me. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm making it up as I go along. It's probably going to get weirder. I'm glad you're along for the journey, so thank you very much. Take care out there. Treat each other well. Be safe.